Hello friends, today we are going to see about attributes in DBMS. What is an attribute? An attribute describes the property of an entity. An attribute is represented as oval in ER diagram. There are six types of attribute. First one, key attribute. Second one, simple attribute. Third one, single valued attribute. Fourth one, composite attribute. Fifth one, multi-valued attribute. Sixth one, derived attribute. First one, key attribute. An key attribute can be uniquely identify an entity from an entity set. For example, student roll number can be uniquely identify a student from a set of students. Key attribute is represented by oval, same as an attribute. However, the text of the key attribute is underlined. Roll number is specifically identified in a set of students or a group of students, so it can be underlined. Second one, simple attribute. The attribute which with values that are atomic and cannot be broken down further are simple attribute. For example, age of the student cannot be broken. Age of the students cannot be broken further. Next one, single valued attribute. As the name suggests, they have a single value. Example, roll number. Next one, composite attribute. An attribute that is combination of other attribute is known as a composite attribute. For example, in a student entity, the student address is a composite attribute, as an address is a composed of other attributes such as pin code, state and country. If we take the address, we first attribute will be a pin code, second attribute will be a state, third attribute will be a country, even fourth attribute can be an address of the student. In this, if we take a name, first name, middle name and the last name. Next one, multi-valued attribute. An attribute that can hold multiple value is known as a multi-valued attribute. It is represented as double oval in ER diagram. For example, a person can have more than one phone number, so that the phone number attribute is multi-valued. Even a person can have learn more than one or two courses, so that also will come under a multivalent attribute. Next one, derived attribute. A derived attribute is one whose value is dynamic and derived from another attribute. It is represented by the dashed oval in an ER diagram. For example, person age is derived as a change over a time and can be derived from another attribute. Derived attribute will be constantly changed and it is derived from another attribute. For example, age is derived from the date of birth. Next one, ER diagram and multivalid attribute example. A student is an entity, student phone number is a multi-value, student name is a single valued attribute, age is a derived attribute, date of birth and student ID is a key attribute. And ER diagram symbols. Entity represent a rectangle, relationship represent a diamond, attribute represented oval, weak entity represent a double rectangle, weak entity relationship represent a double diamond, multivalid represent a double oval, key attribute or a single value attribute derived represented as a oval with underline symbol, composite attribute represent a attribute under an attribute, derived attribute represent a dashed line oval. Thank you.